3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I would say it's in my mind when I'm out, especially at night. Think about, I guess, preventative measures to not get assaulted, as I'm sure most women do.
So when I go out, I have to do a lot of things to make sure that I am safe, mainly looking at the way I dress and being concerned with how I'm dressed.
If I do go out somewhere, especially somewhere I've never been before, it'll always be with someone.
When I go out, I definitely consider my own safety. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get back? You know, that sort of thing. So it's not even like I have to make a conscious effort to think about it.
Oh, I certainly think that women, myself especially as a woman, would think about my safety moving around at nighttime more than a man would.
Yeah, I just don't think men have to deal with the threat of a woman attacking them, I guess.
It's been drilled into me that I have to think about those things when I go out. Every single time I go out, I'm told by my parents to make sure that I'm with people that I know, that I don't leave alone, that I dress properly.
Yeah, I would think so, but also because like my dad's an ex-cop, so it's just something that I think that's part of my lifestyle as well.
It's always in the back of your mind kind of sense. It's not something I'm always conscious of, but I think it's definitely something especially girls are taught to do, maybe a little bit more than men were.
Just things like what I wear, the people I go out with, what time I go out, the amount of people that I go out with, and especially like where I'm going to go out.
Never travel home alone, never walk in the dark alone.
Make sure you're with friends, make sure you're in a large group, because even I feel like groups of 2 people can still get assaulted. And I mean, like, if I'm just out with one of my other friends, like, we have been approached in the past and we found ourselves in uncomfortable situations.
I was told to always carry my keys between my fingers in case someone comes up to me. I can use it as a punching thing.
Call someone, pretend to talk to someone, pretend to talk to a dad or a man, mention a man's name. I've been told before, leave a big pair of like boots or football boots and big socks out the front of your house, just as a method of protection, I guess.
So my parents had 8 daughters, so it was always drilled into our minds how to be safe and how to look out for each other. So I guess women looking out for other women is probably the main thing that I've been taught.
There's an element of common sense to be thinking about being safe, because crime and that sort of thing is just something that's going to be a part of our society, but at the same time it is a bit annoying because a lot of the measures that we have to put in place to prevent an assault is put on the women as opposed to the men.
I can't go out until 1 a.m. because it'll take me too long to get home, and by that time the buses have stopped running, and well, I can't catch a taxi by myself because that's too dangerous. Can't drive because you've been drinking and all of these kinds of things, and it gets to a point where you're like, is it really worth going out? And it gets exhausting.
But I understand that when people give advice to make sure that we're safe, they mean the best. But I think telling women to look out for their own safety, it's a good precaution, but it's not a solution.
They should just be able to go out and just have fun. For women to hold such a huge responsibility to take care of themselves, in particular when they go out, is unfair, unjust, and shouldn't happen point blank. Men should definitely take responsibility for their own actions. I mean, like, to be a decent human being, you need to take responsibility for your own actions, whether you're a man or a woman.
We need to like refocus. Instead of being like, girls, you need to take care of yourself, it should be the other way around and make sure that there is no problem in the first place, so that, you know, women don't have to go through the extra measures.
Both men and women should be educated on what constitutes as assault. Men need to understand that no does mean no, it doesn't mean convince me. Women should be taught how to say no in a way that gets their message across.
Women are more apologetic for everything that they do. So if something bad happens to them, they apologize for it because they feel like it was their fault for allowing that to happen to themselves.
I think that there is already some education. More wouldn't hurt, but I think we also have to be careful not to generalise and not to say men are perpetrators of violence and crime and women are victims, because I think that's dangerous as well.
We spend a lot of time teaching our daughters how to not get assaulted instead of teaching our sons not to assault. So it's an issue and it's unfair.
And I feel like it shouldn't be boys should be boys, it should be boys should be held accountable for their actions, women should be held accountable for their actions, everyone should be held accountable for their actions, and there definitely needs to be more of that going on.
Don't travel alone.
Don't come home late.
Don't talk to strangers.
Don't hang out with certain people.
Don't get in a taxi or an Uber alone.
Don't go into any isolated areas.
Don't drink too much.
Don't walk home with earphones in.
Don't go out without a plan.
Don't go under peer pressure.
Don't sit by yourself at a bar.
Don't be unaware of your surroundings.
Don't go anywhere you haven't been before.
Don't go out if it's not necessary.
Actually, one of the biggest things is don't be afraid to say no. It's a good one.